Hello and welcome to another audio analysis. In today's video we're taking a look at the track Carnavoyeur by the American alt-rock band Queens of the Stone Age. This is the second single to be released from the band's upcoming 8th studio album in Times New Roman, their first release since 2017's Villains. We have already got to hear the first single, which was Emotion Sickness, which certainly touched on Josh Homme's breakup with his wife, his divorce, and the difficulties he went through. Really put a lot of focus on it for that particular track, and certainly saw a really interesting and strong return for the band, certainly drawing elements from some of their earlier work such as Rated R, and just really showing the strength that the band still have got in their songwriting capabilities and certainly in their musical ability as well. And from the title alone on this track, voyeur tends to be watching somebody else engage in sexual activities and kind of gaining arousal from that. So almost like this idea of catching somebody having an affair, that maybe that idea of peeping through the door, catching them in the act. So we can maybe see that's going to be something that it does tend to focus on. And Carna could kind of be a carnivore, so kind of being devoured by lust or things like that. So a really interesting title. I'm really interested to see where this track does go. So will this track be full of passion and lust or simply be wilting love? Let's take a look at exactly how it sounds.
Nothing inside. Well, there's no reason to cry. Just fade away like love. Clutching, hanging by a nail in this life. Desperate always looks that way.
So of this first verse, we can see this idea of kind of feeling nothing, this idea of lost love really coming through. There's no reason to cry, just fade away like love. So this idea of it dissipating as time does progress. And I'm really loving the vocals from Josh Homme already. It almost has this very Morrissey-esque vibe to it. Or certainly you could look at Billy McKenzie from The Associates, where he kind of vibrates towards the end of these notes, really just kind of delving into those deeper tones. So I really do like that. Definitely drawing on those kind of sadder emotions. This idea of feeling nothing. He's really conveying that very well with his voice, with these kind of deep dulcet tones. Okay, I'm really liking this chorus. This idea of free fall from the nest, then glide to the left. Almost like this idea, I definitely feel this idea of kind of an affair is coming through. This idea of kind of cheating on a partner. You free fall from your home and you're gliding away, but then something catches your eye. Somebody else catches your eye, so you flow to the right. You're being drawn in by this person. You're being seduced almost, flying high, realizing there's no more mountains to climb. So that kind of idea of passion, of kind of sex really being brought in, that idea of flying high, that excitement that people get, certainly from voyeurism and things like that. So really catching somebody in the act, and we can really see that with these deeper dulcet tones as well. This idea of this lost love, the love has gone on to somebody else, and there's nothing I can do except enjoy the view. When there's nothing I can do, I smile. So really focusing on this idea of the voyeurism, just really gaining pleasure from watching somebody else. So very quite dark in nature, but it can definitely touch on that idea of certainly of this idea of catching someone having an affair or something like that.
Secrets away, well, whisper in my ear.
I really love these playful vocals. I love how Josh Homme is dancing between these different styles and the vocal delivery, these different speeds, these different tempos, really just kind of raising and lowering his voice to really give off these different tones and really just show a bit of creative flair and these cute little flicks at certain points that really just add some more power to this song. And so do the instruments as well. It's something they do. They don't need to include tons of lyrics in their songs because the instruments do so much. You've got these very chunky, deep, bassy tones coming in, very thick drums as well, but it all blends, despite being very chaotic, so nicely together. And I like how they're just drawing elements from lots of different styles of music. Certainly you can see some of the almost progressive rock elements coming in, some of these slightly more almost like Daft Punk bassy sounds that we have got brought in as well, mixed in with these very interesting deep vocals. It's a really interesting concoction that really does work because the band are used to being able to blend these sounds together so well. And certainly with this verse, I love the idea of minutes, seconds, and so little time. Give your secrets away. So this idea of secrets kind of be this secret affair that's being brought in. Well, whisper in my ear, every living thing will die, from the King of the Jungle to Butterfly. So I like how they're touching on things of power, things of beauty, kind of just these two opposite ends of the spectrum. That everything, no matter what side you come from, everything will die. The idea the only sin is waiting too long. So waiting too long in life, or certainly in a relationship, to kind of just hold each other back. Life's too short to kind of just be kind of at each other's throats and kind of going behind each other's backs. So I definitely feel like that is what the song is continuing to kind of revolve around.
When there's nothing I can do, a smile.
And I love these little sways that we've got. You can really just kind of sway along to this track. It has this very pleasant rhythm that really just kind of swings like a pendulum from side to side. You can really just get involved. It kind of drags you in, pulls you in, and you really get enveloped by the track as a whole. And I love the metaphoric lyrics they do throw into their tracks. I really love this idea of this free fall from the nest and glide to the left, and how something can draw your attention to a different side. So your intentions can be changed. You can be drawn. I love that a shine catch the eye, just something out of your peripherals really pulling you in, that idea of seduction coming in as well, and just kind of being led towards a different path. I really love that chaotic build towards the end. I love how we've got these very just jagged, very sharp elements being brought in, and then you've got on the contrasting side, you've got this very soft violin and Josh Homme's really soft vocals. It's a really jarring mix, but again, they're a band that are able to just smash things together that typically wouldn't belong, but because they're using it as this crescendo, this big build at the end of the track, it really, really does work. And I would definitely say I prefer this track over Emotion Sickness. There is so much going on. There's so many layers, so much depth to this track, just from the different stylings, the different vocal delivery, the just playfulness of Josh Homme's vocals. It's something that I've just always admired about this band and how they've continued to do that, and they're really showing that in spades with the tracks they are releasing from this album. And I also really do like the messaging. I really do feel like it did definitely touched on voyeurism, certainly really was being brought in, but I definitely feel like it touched on the idea of kind of from an affair, this idea of falling from the nest, kind of being led away from your traditional home, being seduced by some somebody else into almost this new nest and being caught in the act. And it's something that we do see reflected quite a lot in modern world, people having affairs, being caught, and the kind of stages that people have to go through when dealing with that. And we do see from some of the tracks already, certainly the first one, we're going to see potentially a lot of focus around love, relationships, and how people interact with each other, given the first two tracks we've heard so far. So that will be everything for today's video, but please feel free to let me know your thoughts about this track in the comments section below. I really enjoyed that. I cannot wait to get to hear the album in full when it does land in a couple of weeks' time. It's definitely going to probably be, I think, one of their most impressive if it lives up to the standard we have seen with these two tracks so far, but I would certainly love to know your thoughts as well. And as always, if you would like to see more content like this, then please do feel free to subscribe, and I will see you in the next Dojo analysis.